Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for coming tonight to our second fireside chat.
Yay!
We are always exploring issues of vocation and purpose, and tonight's event is sponsored, in fact, by the Center for Purpose and Vocation, along with the Cross-Cultural Center and Campus Ministry working together jointly to present this tonight. So we have put together a panel of volunteers. These beautiful people in front of you have spent a year or more of their lives in various parts of the world serving and giving not only of themselves but to others, but also learning and growing and experiencing the world with new eyes through their experience. So the purpose tonight is not to promote any one program in particular, but it's to just help maybe plant a seed and help you explore this as a possible thing you could do after you graduate from Assumption University. We're going to be taping tonight so we can actually promote this out hopefully to more people. And just wanted to tell you there's some light refreshments over on the side, help yourself. We have a couple representatives here from 2 volunteer programs. Casey Driscoll is here from the Jesuit Volunteer Corps.
Yay!
Yay! I did the JVC myself. Yay! And then we also have Patrick Ryan, who's here from an organization called the Alliance for Catholic Education from Notre Dame, where you can get a free Master's of Education and some wonderful formation and serve throughout the country. So check out Patrick after this. And then there's also some materials from the Assumption Mission Associates on the back table, and we also have Catherine who'll be very happy to answer some questions about that program. So we are very happy to have Esteban Lustenau be our facilitator, and I'm going to let it go.
Excellent. Well, thank you very much, Una, for organizing this event, for co-sponsoring this event. I am very happy to be here with all of you, and I think it's going to be an exciting evening where hopefully we will not only hear stories that were in many ways transformative, but also to inspire you to pursue some of those experiences and make them your own. So I'm going to introduce our panel today, but most importantly, I want to ask them to share more about themselves, when they went to school, without going into too many details, and what they do now. And that's going to be sort of like the bookends for the conversation, from when they were in college to what they do now, and how their experience of doing service after college may have had something to do with what happened between those 2 very important stages of life. So to my left, we have Catherine Heffernan. She's an Assumption Mission Associate who had experience serving in Cork, Ireland, and currently here in Worcester, Massachusetts. And then we also have Luis Melgar, who's our new Director of Campus Ministry. Luis had a wonderful experience in Peru through the Jesuit Volunteer Corps. And then we have Molly Pietrantonio, who's an Assumption alumna from 2012. Her experience was with Vista and AmeriCorps, and she's currently back here in Worcester. And then we also have Tyler Wasson, who's a professor at the Graduate School of Business here at Assumption as well. And his experience was in Bulgaria, working for the Peace Corps. So I'm going to have you guys get a feel for the room by saying a little bit more about yourselves, remembering those 2 sort of like the bookshelf, where the bookends, where you started and then what you currently do, right? So we can begin with you, Kat.
Hi everyone, I'm Catherine. I just turned 24 last month. I have been doing Catholic missionary work full-time since I graduated from Anna Maria College in 2023. My degrees are in policing, but it was actually at campus ministry at Anna Maria where I found a little flyer on the Assumption Mission Associates and where my journey serving Jesus began. So I did a year in Ireland working with people with intellectual disability, and I'm here serving the community of Worcester at St. Peter's, where I actually currently work part-time as well.
Thank you. My name is Luis Melgar, Director of Campus Ministry. And so when I went to the University of Scranton, the Electric City, where I majored in exercise science, entering in, hoping to complete that degree, had a guaranteed seat to the Doctorate of Physical Therapy program, to which they only allowed or allotted 40 spots to at the start of the program or when you are admitted to the school. And so it was a highly coveted sort of spot, and I thought that the rest of my life was more or less set. Definitely the next 7 years of my life were set. But then it was actually the University of Scranton that hosted international Jesuit volunteers in the summers, where I worked as a summer conference assistant. And I got to hear some of their stories, at first really with a lot of trepidation, wondering who are these people who were wearing Birkenstocks and socks and Chacos and socks. It was very crunchy granola. It was very different and off-putting to me at the time. But then the second year when they came around, I was a little bit more curious. And then they invited me to, or encouraged me to do a Send-like immersion experience, where I did an immersion to Nicaragua, to the Jesuit University there. And it was there that my eyes were open to many realities. And my junior summer going into senior year, I kind of added a Spanish minor, a theology minor, 2 concentrations of Latin American studies and peace studies, because I really just, my heart was broken, but also my heart wanted to really learn what it meant to serve. And so after some conversations with some folks, I decided I wanted to, if 10 days could do this to me, I wonder what 2 years would do of service. And so I applied to the Jesuit Volunteer Corps and to grad school in theology. Got accepted to both, but we'll hear more about that later. And so a lot has happened since now and then, but really excited to share more and hear from my peers.
Hi there, my name is Molly Pietrantonio, and I'm a 2012 Assumption alumni. And my AmeriCorps story really stems from my senior year. I came off of a really impactful internship that I did with the YWCA through my women's studies. I was an English literature and a women's studies minor. And again, senior year, second semester, I wanted to change my whole life. That internship really allowed me and empowered me to really want to focus on Worcester and stay in Worcester and be part of this community that I've grown to really love and appreciate from being at the Y. And so as I'm like crying in sixth man, being like, I don't know what to do after graduation, I heard about AmeriCorps, and I really used AmeriCorps as a way to pivot into a field without having an educational background. Because I loved Assumption, but I wasn't going to do any more. I was going to stop for a minute. So here I was, English literature, women's studies major, being like, I think I want to go in the human services field. How do I do that? And AmeriCorps like, you're breathing. And that's how I did my service year in Worcester with Habitat for Humanity, and I look forward to sharing more about that. So another spin on what a service year can do for you. So thank you.
Hello, my name is Tyler Watson. I'm actually from Washington State, so I'm pretty far away from home. But I grew up there, I went to college there. My major was management, minors in government and international business, but I hadn't really gone very far away from Washington State, just a couple of short overseas trips. And after I graduated, I had a job in the running. I ran in college, ran cross country and track. And I was managing a running store. It was a great sort of landing spot out of, but I knew my time there was limited. The owner of the store, while he liked me, I hope he thought I was a good manager, he was hoping really to pull his son back. And so I knew my time was short, and one of my coworkers had mentioned that she was really interested in the Peace Corps, and I thought that might be a way to kind of get out. I wasn't independently wealthy, didn't have the trust funds. I had to go somewhere and do something, and I sort of looked more into it, and the more I looked into it, the more I got excited at the opportunity to do service and to learn about a different culture. And like I said, I was from one area, and I thought I would like to know more about how the world worked. And so that was the start of it, and that sort of curiosity is what has kept me, sort of to bookend this, in school until I ran out. You can't get anything after a PhD except, I don't know, another one, which would be silly, right? And so that's why I ended up here, right? So, and I'm happy to be here, and happy to be on this panel. So, yeah.
Well, thank you all for sharing a little bit about the early stages of how the idea of doing a year of service came about. One thing is to sort of like imagine in the abstract, to apply, to see yourself, yes, I'm going to do this out of single options or several options. Once you are in a place that is completely new and foreign, maybe where the languages are so different, or the accents or the cultures are so different, can you give us an example of what it's like to start in a new context outside of the comfort zone of college that you all experienced for 4 years? Think of a situation where you maybe had, I don't know, second thoughts, or where you faced a challenge that you still remember vividly and you thought, oh my goodness, am I doing the right thing? Or instead that you said, yes, this is what I really want to experience. Something that pushed you out of your comfort zone. What was your reaction? And how did you overcome that limitation, or how did you embrace that challenge?
I have a microphone. I can answer this. So what got me the most with AmeriCorps is a year term of service. You're paid a living allowance based on the area median income of the community that you are in. So for me, I was in Worcester, and I got paid $11,000 for the 365 days I did with AmeriCorps Vista, Volunteers in Service to America. And so part of why I understand that living stipend is there's supposed to be a correlation between your experience and the experience of the people that you are serving. So I did have the experience of putting myself on food stamps because I had 3 roommates living in Worcester, and again, making like $400 a month. So, part of me being like, financially, what am I doing? Like, why did I sign up for this? Granted, you're 20 and you can feel invincible. And for a little bit I did. I felt very independent. I was navigating these systems. I was navigating living on my own outside of the comforts of this beautiful bubble here on campus. And that was very uncomfortable, but not as uncomfortable as me learning more about the lack of affordable housing in Worcester. Again, I was with Habitat for Humanity. We built, I'm not going to know what they're on them. But anyway, Habitat for Humanity is building affordable housing. And my role as an AmeriCorps member was to engage with the community about how to obtain affordable housing through Habitat for Humanity. So again, 20-year-old renter, talking to folks about how to affordably own a home. And part of that process included doing home visits. So when we are vetting an applicant for a Habitat for Humanity home, we meet with them in their current place of living and talk to them more about the process. And